Scots Nation, welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of Tartan Talk. Our guest today is senior shortstop Brecca Williams. Brecca, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am a senior infielder here at Maryville College. I'm 21 years old and I'm majoring in health and wellness promotion. I was born and raised here in Maryville, so I've grown up here. I know the place very well. And I've been here all 4 years starting from my freshman year.
As I introduced you as shortstop. You've not always played there as you're doing your career at Maryville College. Could you talk a little about changing positions this year, what all went into that?
Yeah, so this year I did have to go into the role of playing shortstop instead of third base. I had played third base my whole freshman, sophomore, and junior year. But there was a time and I needed to step into the role of playing shortstop for the team. So that happened after this winter. So going into the spring season, I did become the shortstop of the team. And one thing that we really worked on was just kind of getting more comfortable being in that spot. I try to remind myself that a ground ball is a ground ball. You field it the same way. It may be a little bit further away now and have more time to react and read to the ball and stuff like that, but I try to not put as much pressure on myself, really emphasizing the change that it has been.
Can you maybe tell us any bumps on the road there in that transition?
Yeah, so definitely as someone who is a more reaction, I'm better at reacting to the ball, so that's why I really enjoyed third and I did very well there. Really just having that reaction time and not having to think about it as much, kind of. But definitely now that I play middle infield, I'm a little deeper, having to read balls instead of just reacting to them, having to play them. That's definitely been a change and trying to slow down and make sure that I'm under control.
Do you think that the change of positions has forced you into more of a leadership role, being kind of like the captain of the infield?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So especially even with it being my senior year, I knew I had to step into that role of being a leader. And I've really always been a lead by example type of person, but I have filled into that vocal role, especially having to move to shortstop as well. Just kind of having that communication wise with all of my teammates, just making sure that everybody's on the right track, everybody knows what's going on. And things like that. It definitely has changed the communication-wise that I have had to talk a little bit more because I'm in that role at shortstop now, so for sure.
There is a couple of staffing changes over the off-season. Coach Jenica Brown moved up to full-time and Jamie Carr moved down to more on a volunteer basis. Mm-hmm. What has that change been like? Now that Jenica is in that full-time role, she is around a lot more than she used to be. She is definitely somebody who leads us as a coach as well as Coach Jill. And she leads very well. I was actually her teammate my freshman and sophomore year. So it has been it's very fun to have her as a coach now as well. Because she's somebody that I really respect, the type of person she is, the way that she leads. And I always looked up to her while we were playing here together, and now she's my coach. That's just really awesome. But she's definitely made a big impact on what we have going on and things like that. She's got us the new batting cage. She was a big facilitator in that as well. So she's making some big changes and making a big statement as she's coming in. Jamie is also still here. She's there almost every day with the pitchers, doing their bullpens and things like that. So she's definitely around and good to have here. You mentioned the new batting cage. Can you tell us a little bit how nice it is to have something like that right there in your backyard? Yeah,
it's definitely very nice to have right there at the field. And even during practice, we have plenty of room out there now. It's safe and things like that. So it's really fun to have. But as well, on days that we don't have practice, we're still able to go down there, turn music on, and hit on our own and just have fun together, even not in a practice structure.
Let's talk about the season so far. You've enjoyed quite a bit of success this season, batting over 500. Can you just talk about what goes in, like mindset and just your hitting style?
Yeah, So for these first few games, yes, I have been very successful and hope to keep that ball rolling. One thing that I really have worked on in the off season is expanding the zone and being able to hit rivers, and just knowing that really anything that's pitched to me, I'm able to hit hard, and just having that confidence. It also makes a big difference with my teammates having confidence in me and having my back, and also my coaches as well. It really helps with the mental side of that, and just going in there and attacking any pitch that I see is good and hittable, just really trying to hit the ball hard and do damage.
Talk about what y'all are doing in practice preparing for conference play to start.
Yeah, so each day at practice, Coach Jill and Jenica, they both put us in a situation where there is pressure so that we feel those pressure situations in practice. And one of the things that we do talk about a lot is working on the hard. And we do that a lot in practice, just kind of simulating those game situations to be able to really know what we're going to do whenever the ball's hit to us in certain situations in the game. And that really helps because it just makes it feel a lot easier whenever you do get put into that situation in the game. So having that experience even in practice helps in games.
Your conference slate starts with a new foe in Asbury, so you've never saw them before, so what are you going in, what are you looking at?
So as for Asbury, I don't personally know a lot about them, but I know that we're going to practice, and Jill and Jenica are going to prepare us for anything that they have, any information they have, they're going to share with us so that we can use that. And then we'll also, a lot of times during practice, especially game weeks, when we know a lot about our opponents, we'll practice for that team, so different situations that we may face against them. And also, especially hitting-wise, we find out what their pitchers like to work and things like that, and work on those specific pitches, locations, highs and lows of that as well.
Let's talk about the lineup of the team. Graduated a lot of seniors last year. Coach Jill started, I think, 6 seniors on Sunday. So can you just talk about learning new teammates and just how building that team cohesiveness?
Yeah. So especially coming into this year, in the fall, there were a lot of newcomers. We had a lot of freshmen, transfers, and things like that. So just having the ability and the opportunity to learn more about a lot more people and make those relationships with my teammates, both on and off the field, really is something that has been awesome. And we had a lot of incoming people who were new this year that are able to make a huge impact on our season, and step into some really big roles coming into this season as well. So.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about last season and the postseason run. What did you guys take from that, being just about, you were one hit really away from advancing, so going into this season, what does that look like?
Yeah. So obviously we want to learn from last season, especially for the returners, because we got that experience under our belt, even playing in the conference tournament championship when we ended up winning, and then also going on to regions, being able to have that experience and playing on that stage, which was absolutely amazing. But getting that experience and knowing that you have been put in that situation, and you know that when it happens again, you're going to be ready for it because you've been there before. It kind of gives you that confidence that I can do this because we have been there. And really just working each year to rebuild and get back to exactly where we ended last year.
You guys started the season off with Barry, which is who you ended the season with. So
Yeah.
What did that look like?
Yeah, so obviously with Barry, we lost to them in regions last year at the end. So we've faced them many times, especially throughout my 4 years that I've been here. We played them a lot, seen their pitching a lot, and I think that it was really cool to be able to start off the year with somebody that ended ours, and also having the information that we know because of the past experience playing them, and being able to use that information to help the newcomers and help everyone prepare for them. And it really was a cool experience to come back and win first game that first time, just kind of like, not really as a revenge, but just being able to get back to where we started, kind of.
What did that do for team confidence going forward, just being able to get your first win against a ranked team?
Yeah, that's huge, definitely for the confidence of the team. So being able to beat a team that is nationally ranked is huge, and especially with a team who was basically brand new because we graduated so many seniors and we worked so hard to get to where we are today. And being able to come out on our first game with this team and just be able to make that kind of statement, it really was awesome. And it built a lot of confidence, and now we just hope that we carry that through the season.
So your hitting style is more, you're looking to knock more runs in, not really trying to hit it out of the park, right?
Yes.
You talk about like what goes through your mind when you've got a couple runners on first and second, and just how you help calm yourself and just clear your mind for the plate appearance.
Yeah, so definitely whenever I go into a situation, whenever I go into an at-bat, I definitely think about exactly what I want to do. So a lot of the times I hit a lot of line drives. I want to try to hit gaps, move runners around and things like that. Just hit the ball hard in general, make something happen. But definitely one of the mindsets that I've had is just knowing that I've been in those situations, because I do have the experience from the past 3 years, and just knowing that I can be successful and I will. That definitely helps with the mental side of it a lot. So,
as we wrap up here, for maybe anybody that's watching that may know you, grown up around here, or maybe just any of the little girls that play softball around here, do you have any advice for them?
Really, I would just say work hard, stay true to who you are, and just keep your motivation and do things whenever people aren't watching. Put in the extra work, and even if it's not at practice, you're not with a coach or anything like that, just make sure that you're putting in the work that should be done, and it'll all pay off in the end. So just keep doing that.
All right, well, thank you for joining us today. Scots Nation, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode.